Hello, my beautiful people. I welcome you back to my channel once again. This is the first time we are meeting in this year 2025, and so I wish you a happy new year and wish you all that you wish for yourself in the new year 2025. We hope that next year by this time, all our heart desires will be fulfilled and Chelsea, our beloved club, will be at the top of the log during Christmas. If you are wondering why my environment is like this, I must tell you that I have been away during the festive seasons. I am in my village, my community, and so I decided to do a quick one here because probably I wouldn't be back before tomorrow's game. So I want to give you this preview before tomorrow's game. As usual, I am going to present you with every single thing that you need to know going into the game, the head to head, the match officials, my predicted lineup, my predicted score. I am going to give you every single thing. All right. So we are going to play against Crystal Palace. They are our London rivals. And we are going again after we have been able to pick only 1 point from the 9 points available. As you all know, we lost our games against Fulham and Ipswich Town, and we drew against Everton. I think that during the Everton game, Chelsea were a little bit found out in that game, and that is where Fulham took advantage of our weaknesses. I think that Ipswich also capitalized on that one, and I think it has gone a very long way to hurt our season. We were all saying that we are not in the title race, but I believe that if we all have the chance to have a bite, we'll be happy to be in the title race. All right. So these people, these players that lost against Ipswich Town, I want to put the blame on these players. These players, I don't think it was a mistake of the coach. I don't think it was through the fault of the coach that we lost the game to Ipswich. These players, Philip Jorgensen, disaster class Disasi, then we have Felix, and we also have Nkuku. I think these players have presented us with a reality check, actually, because it is these same players that were in our match against Newcastle, I think so, for our Carling Cup match. And we lost that game by 2 goals to 0. And again, in the that is in the EFL Cup. And again, these players were given the opportunity to play for Chelsea in the Premier League, and they have disappointed once again. So I think it is a serious reality check on us, and we have to look at the type of setup that we send into the game against Crystal Palace. For I can tell you that the last time Crystal Palace won at Selhurst Park was in 2017, and that was in the Premier League. Now, since then, Chelsea have played about 15 games against Crystal Palace, and we have won 14 of them. Only one draw. We played a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace in our first leg of this season. So, without wasting much time, as we usually do, let's get going when the going get tough. The game will be played tomorrow, which is Saturday, the 4th of January, 2025. First game of 2025 for Chelsea, and we seriously need to go at this one and win it. All right, so the time will be 15 o'clock GMT. Then the venue is Selhurst Park, and that is the home of Crystal Palace, London. All right, now the referee for the game is going to be Tim Robinson. Then we also have the assistant referee who will be Tim Wood and Steve Meredith. They will be on the lines assisting Tim Robinson for tomorrow's game. The fourth official, we are going to have Simon Hooper. Who will be in charge of conduct within the dugout and also oversee conduct of the two coaches. All right. Then the VAR official, we are going to have Paul Tierney, and assistant VAR, we are going to have James Maywerin for that game. Now, for the form of the two teams, I can tell you that when you take the last three games, Crystal Palace are in better form than Chelsea. In the last 3 games, we have only picked 1 point out of the 9 points that are available, whereas Crystal Palace have picked 4 points out of the 9 points that are available for pick. Now, in the last 5 games, they have Crystal Palace has won 2 games, they have lost 2 games, and they have drawn 1 game. Chelsea has also won 2 games, we have drawn 1 game, and we have lost 2 games. But as I said, when we take the last 3 games into consideration, Chelsea has only picked 1 point, Crystal Palace has picked 4 points from those games. Now, when it comes to the head to head, as I told you, in the last 15 games, Chelsea have picked 14 wins out of the last 15 games, and there was only 1 draw, which occurred this season, the first game against Crystal Palace. In the last 5 games, Chelsea has won 4 of the 5, and we have drawn 1 against Crystal Palace. All right. Now, the last visit for Chelsea at Selhurst Park, we won that game by 3 goals to 1 against Crystal Palace, if you can all remember. Gallagher scored 2 goals in that game, and Enzo also scored 1 goal in that game. Now, for this game, I can tell you that I fear seriously for Chelsea. I think a win for Chelsea will be very difficult to come by. Looking at some metrics going into the game, goals scored in the Premier League for Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Chelsea has scored 38 goals and Crystal Palace has scored 20. Whereas we have conceded 23 goals in the Premier League, they have conceded 27. Big chances that we create per game, we create 3.6 big chances per game, and they create 2.5 big chances per game. Then big chances missed per game, we are missing 2.5 of our big chances, and they are missing 1.7 of their big chances. It means that Chelsea are only able to score 1.1 of the big chances that they create. Interceptions per game, this is where the game will actually be won or lost against Crystal Palace. I think that Crystal Palace is a team that works very hard. Interceptions per game, they are making 8.4 interceptions per game. We are making 7.7. Tackles per game, they are making 21.7, and we are making 16.1. Duels won, they are winning 52.4 of their duels, and we are winning 47.2 of our duels. Now, as I said, goals per game, we score 2 goals per game, and they are scoring 1.05 goals per game. Whereas we are conceding 1.2 goals per game, they are conceding 1.42 goals per game. But seriously, when you look at where the interceptions and the tackles are made, I think that they have those metrics in their favor. And so tomorrow we have to be very careful how we approach the game. Malo Gusto, for instance, he inverts and finds it very difficult to come back to defend. And I think that Malo Gusto has been in a very poor form of late. And I will come to my predicted 11 for the game. I think that Malo Gusto must up his game. As for Disasi, I think that he has played his last Chelsea game. I should think so. For your information, those of you who have been watching my report on the loan players, I have been reporting on Aaron Asemino, and I can tell you that Chelsea has recalled Aaron Asemino into the club. The coach spoke about him today. He is a young player, and the intention is for him to stay with us. So once Asemino comes, I think he's a better player than Disasi. On the table, Chelsea are currently 4th on the table, whereas Crystal Palace is 15th on the table. We have both played 19 games. Now, goal difference for us, we have 15 goals, and they have -7 goals. As I mentioned earlier, we have scored 38 goals in the Premier League, and they have scored 20. Then for points, we have 35 points, whereas they have 20 points. Now, I want to go straight to my predicted lineup for the game. For player availability, we know those who are not available already. We know that Wesley Fofana and Bernard Badiashile will not be available, and the coach mentioned that they are for the long haul. Actually, for Bernard Badiashile, he's likely to return around February. For Fofana, he's in for a long period on the treatment table. For Romeo Lavia, uh, he's actually back, but I don't think he will be ready for tomorrow's game. For Rhys James, he's fit. Uh, I believe you all saw him on the bench against Fulham, and so he's fit to play. Just that I'm not sure he will start the game tomorrow. We have to be very careful with how we handle Rhys James this time round. All right. Now, for my predicted lineup for the game, I think Sanchez should come back. The penalty that Philip Jorgensen committed in our loss against Ipswich Town, I think that it's uncalled for. Although I think for me, left to me alone, that wasn't a penalty. But when a relook at it showed it's a penalty, there was a trip on the player, and so it was a penalty. I think he was not comfortable in that game, and so Philip Jorgensen should go back to the bench, and Robert Sanchez should come back to his position for the start. Then Kuku is a player that is indispensable, so he should take his place on the left back. Then Colwell and Tosin should come back to their position centre back. Then I have been thinking about Malo Gusto. As I said, he's been in poor form of late. Achampong is there, but I think Achampong is not ready for the start against Crystal Palace because we have already lost 8 points in 3 games, and so we are going for a win in this one. I think Malo Gusto should come in here. So Gusto should be given another shot over here. So we have Gusto at right back. All right. Then ahead of them, we should have Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in the defensive midfield. Ahead of them, as I said, Felix should take his place on the bench. I think it's not the type of player we want to use in the Premier League. Maybe he's good for the cup competitions. Someone will come for me for this one, but as I mentioned earlier, he started the game in the EFL Cup against Newcastle, and we lost that game. Then he started again against Ipswich, and we lost that game. I think he should go back to the bench for now. Neto should come in over here. Palmer at the number 10 position. Jackson should go back to the starting 11. Nkuku, I think, don't have a very long future. Nkuku is a good player, I must say. But I think that looking at the type of football we are playing, I think Nkuku doesn't fit the bill currently. And so I believe Nkuku, if a very good bid comes in for Nkuku, I think that Chelsea will let go of Nkuku. And I think from there, we can pick it from there and actually get a very good number 9 who will rival Jackson for the number 9 position. All right, so Jackson over there. Then on the right wing, Madueke should come back. Madueke should come back. All right, so we have Madueke over there. All right, for my predicted score, I have been thinking of this one. I think that this game is going to be quite difficult for us, as I said. When you look at the form table in the last 3 games, Palace is better than us. I believe we'll be low on confidence. But I have to mention that one of our own, who is a mainstay in the Crystal Palace team, Trevor Chalobah, will not be playing this game. He will not be playing against his parent club. And so I think that is where Crystal Palace will have a weakness. So I am predicting a 2-1 win for Chelsea. A 2-1 win for Chelsea, actually. All right, so let me see your predicted lineup in the comment section. those of you who are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Let's push this channel forward in 2025. Then also hit the like button and the notification bell. As I mentioned, I am compiling a report on our loan players mid-season performance, and so please subscribe to the channel so when this report comes, you'll be there to also see it. All right. So see you then. See you then. Actually, see you then after the game tomorrow. Bye for now.